another TBR jar video. I am so excited to pick my books for November. I feel like I've been doing an all right job picking my books for the month. I've been reading a few books off of my TBR, but I would really love to read every single book on my November TBR. So I'm hoping that we get some good books so that I'm actually in the mood to read them this month. I've really enjoyed using my TBR jar to pick my monthly TBRs. I feel like that's been working for me right now. It just helps me kind of focus in on the books on my physical TBR so that I'm actually reading through what I already have. I don't know exactly what I'm in the mood for this month. I think kind of similar vibes from October of just like cozy fall romances, but also dark academia, maybe some like mysteries. I don't really know. I guess we'll see. We're just gonna get right into it. So get a drink, get cozy. We are going to go through and pick my books for November. I've also recently added some new prompts to the TBR jar and kind of mixed them in with the old ones. So I'm hoping to get some good prompts that I've never had before. Prompt number 1 is going to be best first sentence. All right, this one's a little bit open to interpretation because I'm gonna go through and see which is the most like eye-catching best first sentence, and whichever book that is, that's what I'm gonna read. Let's take a look. I don't know if I'm gonna go through all of the books because I feel like that would be a lot, but I think I'll just jump around and see whatever the best one is from the ones that I pull. Okay, for Six of Crows, we have Juiced had two problems, the moon and his mustache. That's a pretty good one. I have no idea what that means. And maybe that's the point, because you want to keep reading. Okay, Six of Crows is a contender. All right, we have The Silent Patient. This book has been recommended to me, not only just online, but like in person several times recently, so I felt like it was finally time to get around to reading this. Let's see what the first sentence is. Alicia Berenson was 33 years old when she killed her husband. Okay, that is definitely a contender. Straight to the point, straight into the action. Want to know what happens next? I don't know anything about this book, so Silent Patient is definitely probably the top one right now. I also have The Housemaid. I might end up buddy reading this with a friend of mine because she also has this and was wanting to read it. But let's see what the first sentence is. If I leave this house, it will be in handcuffs. Dang. I mean, I know the whole point of a first sentence in a book is usually to like grab the viewer, but there's some really good ones. Okay, The Housemaid is also an option. All right, we have Project Hail Mary. What's 2 + 2? It's not the best first sentence. I do want to read this, especially with the movie coming out. That's not the best. I'm gonna look at The Unmaking of June Farrow. Really, I don't know why, but I've wanted to read this book pretty much all year, and I finally got around to buying it. The original cover was more like a blue-green, but I actually like this for fall much more. Not that that matters, but just adds to the vibes. Okay, when Margaret Ann Farrow died in her sleep on June 10th, 2023, I became the last living Pharaoh on Earth. That's kind of an intriguing one. Is it as good as the other ones though? I don't know. All right, we also have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is another one that I've wanted to read for a very long time. And the first sentence is, a girl is running for her life. I like that too. That's a good one. Ooh, you know what? We could also try Kristen Hanna's The Four Winds and see. Okay, the first sentence is, hope is a coin I carry, an American penny given to me by a man I came to love. I like the way that sounds, but I don't know that it's the most like, whoa. Okay, I think the 3 that I'm between is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, The Silent Patient, and The Housemaid, 2 of which are a mystery. I'm not sure if The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue is also a mystery. It's general fiction or historical fiction. Definitely a good option. I've been wanting to get around to all 3 of these. This is tough. I'm gonna wait on The Housemaid. I do want to read this, and I want to read it before the movie comes out. I don't know if I'm going to see the movie though. I might see the movie, but I think that that comes out around Christmas time, so maybe I'll read this in December. We'll see. All right, which means we're between The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and The Silent Patient. Even though I really want to get around to this one, for some reason, I'm just leaning more towards The Silent Patient. So I think I'm going to end up reading The Silent Patient, and I think it's a very like suspenseful thriller mystery situation. I've heard of this book for years. I think there's also a movie, possibly, but it's by Alex Michaelides. Sorry if I said that wrong. I've never read a book by this author, but I know this is a very famous book, so I'm excited to see what I will think of it. The Silent Patient is the first book on my November TBR. All right, time for the second prompt. All right, let's see. Okay, the second prompt starts with, I can't even read my own handwriting. Starts with Y. Okay, so it has to start with the letter Y. I don't feel like I have a ton of options for that, so we're gonna have to see what I can come up with. Okay, we have Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I've read a couple of this author's books and I've really enjoyed them. I've been wanting to get around to this one, so this is an option. Oh, I missed this one. Okay, I don't know how I missed this when I was going through them, but I also have You Again by Kate Goldbeck. This was on my list to read last fall and I didn't get around to it, and I really wanted to so that I wouldn't have to wait until this fall to read it, but here we are. And I really don't want to have to wait until next year for another fall to come around. And I think these are the only options that I have for starting with Y. So I think that makes my choice pretty easy. It's gonna gonna be You Again by Kayla. I've heard very mixed things about this. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I heard more negative reviews than positive reviews. I think it's supposed to be a loose retelling of When Harry Met Sally, which is one of my favorite rom-coms, especially to watch in the fall. But I think it's also like a love triangle situation or something. I'm not really sure. I have heard that the characters are not the most likable, but I feel like they don't have to be that likable if the story is interesting enough. But we'll see how I end up feeling about this, because this is going to be the second book on my November TBR, You Again. All right, time for a coffee break. So good. All right, time for the third prompt. For the third prompt, we have a book with magic. That could be a few different things. That could be a fantasy book. That could be a book with like magical realism in it. There's a few different ways that could go. So let me take a look and see. I don't know if Six of Crows has magic in it. I know it's part of like a larger series, but I don't know anything about that series. Throttle does not. That's a romance. Okay, Fearful by Lauren Roberts is an option. It's part of the larger Powerless series. I just finally read the other novella, Powerful, so I'm all caught up with that series so far, and this is the most recent release. Very interested to see what this is about, just because I feel like it wrapped up already. And I didn't really look that far into like who this is about. This is an option, but I'm not really in the mood to read it just because I just read Powerful. So I feel like I'm gonna give myself a second. Don't think I'm gonna do Fearful. Okay, Queen of Shadows does have magic in it. It's part of the Throne of Glass series. Keep coming back to this one. I feel like I talk about this one in every single TBR video, and I just am always saying how intimidated I am to get back into this. I think I might go back through the other ones, just like skim the other books, just so that I'm the most up to date that I can be. It's not that I feel like I forgot a bunch, because I love the Throne of Glass world and it has stuck with me. I'm almost 200 pages into this book, and now it's been months and months and months, and I'm intimidated to get back to it. I do really want to continue the Throne of Glass series though. I also have The Story Collector by Evie Woods. I have no idea if this has magic in it. I think it's a historical fiction mystery. It just says she unearths dark secrets, but I don't know if that involves magic, so I don't think I can do this one. I'm pretty sure The Unmaking of June Farrow does have magic in it, because I think it talks about like a mysterious curse and powers and things like that. Okay, I think I'm in between The Unmaking of June Farrow and Queen of Shadows. Oh, I don't want to have to put this off another month, but I feel like I need to go back to it when I'm ready for it, because I love it so much and I don't want to like force myself to read it and then not enjoy it as much, and I really want to enjoy it. Like barely halfway through the series and it's already one of my favorites that I've ever read. I don't want to make myself read this until I'm ready for it. That one's gonna go back on the cart. I will get back to it eventually, which means the third book for my November TBR is going to be The Unmaking of June Farrow. I've been wanting to get around to reading this book for the entire year basically. I'm pretty sure in January this was one of the books that I wanted to get around to, and here we are in November. It takes place in North Carolina, and I think it's about her and her mom and grandma and like the 3 generations of them, and like magic, curse, possibly time travel. I don't know if it has time travel, maybe not. It does say Bewitching from Rebecca Ross, and Rebecca Ross is one of my favorite authors I discovered this year. So I think this is going to be the third book on my TBR, The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. Time for the fourth prompt. How is it already the fourth prompt? These go by so quickly. All right, and we have a hair. Gross. Have book opposite on the color wheel of the shirt you are wearing. Okay, that is an oddly specific prompt. I probably should know this just off the top of my head from learning and stuff in kindergarten, but I'm gonna pull up a color wheel. Is it orange? I don't want to say it's orange. I would say opposite of blue is like the red, orange, yellow colors. So that means I need to find a book that is within that color scheme. I'm gonna go for orange, I think. Unless I can't find one, then we'll do maybe red. And Unmaking of June Farrow would have been a great option, but we're gonna look around and see if I can find another one. Okay, I don't see any orange over here, so I'm gonna go look on those shelves. All right, I have pulled some orangey books that we can pick through. First one is If It Makes You Happy by Julia Olivia. This was on my September TBR, and no, not September. It was on my October TBR. And I did start it. I read the first chapter, but I didn't get around to reading the rest of it. But I do really want to read this. It's very Gilmore Girls small town romance. I also really like that it's set in the 90s. That just feels very nostalgic to me. Being a 90s baby, I really would like to continue this one. And then 2 other ones that I found that are orange are The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Again, sorry if I said that wrong. I've had this one on my TBR for probably 2 years now, which is not great. Just haven't been in the mood to read it yet. I still don't think I'm in the mood. And then the other one I found is The Martian by Andy Weir. I've seen the movie The Martian that was adapted from this book, and I really liked the movie, so I wanted to read the book and see what it's about. But I do have another one by Andy Weir, Project Hail Mary, and the movie for this one is coming out I think in the springtime, so I do want to read this. I don't know, but I don't think I'm feeling The Martian, so I don't think I'm gonna do that. Which means the 4th book on my TBR for November is going to be If It Makes You Happy by Julia Olivia. I'm excited to continue this one. Like I said, I'm only 1 chapter in, so I don't have a ton of thoughts about it so far, but I did enjoy what I was reading and I liked the way it was written. So I'm excited to get back to this one in the month of November. All right, time for the 5th prompt. I think we're gonna do 6 prompts today. fifth prompt is most recent on TBR. I did sort of just buy some books even though I shouldn't have because there was a 50% off sale and I couldn't help myself. All right, these are the most recent books that I've added to my TBR. We have Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. We have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. We have People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. Throttled by Lauren Asher. And we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I mean, I really am in the mood to read all of these, obviously, because I just bought them. Don't think I want to do Throttled. This is a F1 romance, which I've never read any of those before. I've also never read a Lauren Asher book, but I know her romance book's really popular. But because I'm reading other romances this month, I don't think I want to add another one to it. And I feel like I could read this any time of the year. And I kind of want to focus on fall books right now. So I don't think I'm going to do this one. I do want to read People Watching. It's a fall romance and I've heard good things about it. But again, I'm reading other romances, so do I add another one to it? Just feels like a lot of romance, even for me. Okay, People Watching is an option. I don't think I'm going to do Project Hail Mary yet. I do want to get around to it in the next couple months, but maybe not yet. And then that leaves us with Atmosphere. I want to read this book so bad. I am a huge Taylor Jenkins Reid fan, and I've heard this is like one of her best books, so I do really want to read this one. I think I might wait on it though. I don't know. Don't think I'm gonna do The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Maybe I'll wait a little bit. So I'm between Atmosphere and People Watching. I mean, I feel like I kind of have to go with People Watching because it is so fall and I don't want to have to wait until next fall to read it. I did hear that it kind of gives Rory Jess vibes. They're like one of my all-time favorite couples. I love Rory and Jess from Gilmore Girls, specifically Jess. He's maybe my first crush I ever had. So that does make me very excited to read this one. I think I'm gonna go with People Watching for this one, even though it's another romance. I know, guess I'm just gonna be reading a lot of romance in the month of November, but you know what? I'm not mad about. It's one of my favorite genres. Ugh, but that means I'm not reading Atmosphere. But you know what? Maybe the sixth and final prompt will let me pick this. Let's see. All right, time for the last prompt. I kind of want to just keep going and pick a bunch, but I know I need to be reasonable and not give myself a million books to read. Prompt is Blue. I did not make this up. I swear to you, this is the prompt that just came up. I did not pick this, but that is so perfect. Blue cover. That's just the universe wanting me to read Atmosphere. All right, I don't even need to think about this one. I do have other ones that are blue, but it's gonna be Atmosphere. I don't know anything about this other than it's about an astronaut, I think. I mean, I would assume just from the cover as well. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. I've read 2 or 3 of them at this point. I've read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, still one of my favorite books I've ever read. I've also read Malibu Rising, loved that one. I know about Daisy Jones and the Six, even though I never read that book because I watched the series. And I also have Carrie Soto Is Back, which was on my TBR maybe a couple months ago. Didn't get around to reading that one, and I did want to read that one before I read Atmosphere, but I just cannot wait any longer. I need to read this book. So the 6th and final book on my November TBR is going to be Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I cannot wait to read this. But before my battery completely dies, let's go back and go through all of the books. So on my November TBR, we have The Silent Patient, You Again, The Unmaking of June Farrow, If It Makes You Happy, People Watching, and last but not least, Atmosphere. I am so excited to read all of these in the month of November. I'm really hoping I can read through my entire TBR. I mean, it's okay if I don't, but I would really like to try to read through the entire thing. So it'd be awesome if I could read all of these, especially the fall ones. I feel like I really want to focus on those just because I don't want to have to wait until next year to read them. So these are the books I'm going to be trying to read in the month of November. I'm very excited. Thank you for watching this video. Definitely let me know what's on your November TBR. I would love to see what books you're reading, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.